Hi guys, I'm the Naval Guy, and today I'll be discussing something different. Not a warship, but the famous White Star ocean liner, the RMS Titanic, as it is the sinking anniversary week. I'll be talking about its story and how its sinking impacted the world and sparked questions on whether or not ocean liners of the time were safe. Now, this is part 1 of 2, as I'll talk about these two topics. The video would be a bit too long, as I'm trying to keep it below the 10-minute mark. But for today, I'll be just talking about the Titanic and her story, and I will not be including specifications as the video would be too long, and I will just talk about them another time. So, the Titanic and her sister ships were the dreams of the British ocean liner company, the White Star Line. And the White Star Line really needed to beat their rivals, the Cunard Line, as Cunard had their big ocean liners, the Lusitania and the Mauretania, which were the speed queens of the Atlantic. The Titanic and her sisters were conceived in 1907 and was ordered by the White Star Line's chairman, J. Bruce Ismay. The Titanic's sister ship, Olympic, was first laid down in December 1908, and Titanic was laid down on the 31st of March 1909 at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. First, the Olympic was launched in October 1910, and Titanic was launched on the 31st of May 1911. The launches of these ships were a great public image for the White Star Line and was a symbol of pride that the White Star Line was soon gonna have a response to the Cunard Line. The Olympic was soon underway for its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York on the 14th of June 1911, and the Olympic stopped at Cherbourg in Queenstown and then arriving to New York on the 21st of June. But soon an incident happened when Olympic collided with the Royal Navy cruiser HMS Hawke on the 20th of September 1911, in which the Olympic was damaged but remarkably stayed afloat. Olympic was then pulled into Belfast for repairs, in which she and the Titanic met each other again. But Titanic was still not finished, and her maiden voyage was delayed due to Olympic's collision. And after this, Olympic was back in service by October 1911. And by this time, Titanic was still being slightly modified due to some problems with Olympic's interior and promenade decks. Then, Olympic was back to Belfast after she lost the propeller blade in March 1912, and Titanic's maiden voyage was yet again delayed to April 10th, 1912. Olympic then left Belfast in late March, and Titanic was nearing completion. And on the 2nd of April, she was on her sea trials and soon arrived at the port of Southampton for her maiden voyage. On April 10th, when completed, she had a very beautiful and luxurious interior and very good accommodations, even for the third class. On the day of her maiden voyage, she had very rich people on her and very powerful people such as John Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus. Titanic departed from Southampton and nearly collided with the ocean liner New York. But after this, she was soon on the way for her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York. But first, she stopped at Cherbourg in France and then Queenstown in Ireland. From the 11th to 14th April, she had smooth sailings and even passed by her sister ship mid-Atlantic, the Olympic. But there were many warnings of icebergs, and her captain Edward Smith took note of this. But some warnings were never relayed to the captain. On the voyage, many passengers recalled very lavish and very comfortable interiors, and they really liked the service and the quality of the ship and all the accommodations. But on April 14th at 11:30 p.m., the Titanic's lookout spotted a large mass of sky missing, and all they saw was just a black area with a starlit night. The lookout shouted, "Iceberg right ahead!" and they immediately turned to port, but it was too late. Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:40 p.m., opening 6 compartments, and the compartments were soon sealed off. But soon after, Titanic stopped, And after a meeting with the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, he confirmed that the ship was doomed. And the White Star and chairman, Bruce Ismay, was shocked about the news. About an hour later, the first of just 20 lifeboats was launched, with women and children of the first and second class going first. Soon after this, she flooded pretty slowly, but soon the Titanic started listing to the port side. Her bow soon flooded after this, and her lifeboats were filled with too few people. But soon after, more people came on to the lifeboats. At around 1:50 a.m. on the 15th of April, the end was near for Titanic, and her superstructure soon flooded, and her lifeboats on davits at 2 a.m. were all gone. Titanic's B deck was soon flooding at a rapid pace, and at 2:10 a.m., her first funnel collapsed and making the Titanic sink fast. After this, her famous grand staircase burst open with water, making her sink even faster. After this, Titanic soon got to a pretty steep angle, then her second funnel collapsed, and she started going down. And at 2:17, her electricity went out, and at 2:18, she broke in half between her third and fourth funnel. When she broke, lots of water came rushing into the bow and making it pull down the stern to the port side. The bow soon rapidly sunk, but it left the stern floating. But very soon after, the stern listed to port, rose up in the air, and then sank at 2:20 a.m. After this, Titanic immediately was gone. All that was left were some lifeboats and some debris. There were 2,200 people on Titanic, but just 700 people would survive. And at 4 a.m. on the 15th, the 700 people who survived were rescued by the Cunard liner Carpathia, which arrived in New York on the 18th of April. Soon after this, inquiries started pouring in, and the White Star Line's chairman, Bruce Ismay, survived the accident, but retired in shame. After the Titanic disaster, many international shipping changes were made, which I will talk about soon in part 2 of the series. So that's it for part 1 of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and next time I'll discuss on how Titanic impacted the world and shipping. And thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!